Hey, what's going on, people? It's your boy Brandon, aka FFCLAY from Transcend Global. Where humanity ends is where divinity begins. If you're on YouTube, like, share, subscribe. If you're on Facebook, like, share, comment. I want to get as much engagement, get the message out and the awareness to as many people as possible. I know it's been a long time. It feels like it's been so long, and I've been neglecting the content. And in reality, I have. And I apologize for that. My intention is still to be consistent as ever. Um, just the growth, everything that inspired and was the catalyst for a growing pain series I'm experiencing. And not in a bad way because it's been nothing but good. It's actually been the result of getting what it is that I've asked or desired for. It's now coming into fruition. And so now it's a matter of stewardship. It was a question that came to me a couple of months ago, and I've been sharing it with my wife, reoccurring on a reoccurring basis. And it is basically, are you ready for what it is that you asked for or that you think you want? And so I know a lot of times when we're in just a state of desperation or urgency, and we intensely want something, we don't know what all that comes with it, and not in a bad way, but there is a level of stewardship and growth and expansion that has to take place in order for us to be able to maintain it. Because in order, if that was the case, we would have it already. So in order to get what it is that we've never had or do what we've never done, we have to become somebody that we up to this point have never been. And so that requires us to stretch and to grow and to expand and to reach deep down within ourselves to withdraw and to extract that out of us. And that's a lot of times where the process comes in. And so I said all that to say that the intention and the desire is still consistency. The Growing Pain series is still a go. It just requires a little bit more research, because I don't just like to just get stuff and just run with it and give to other people without extracting and processing it for myself, because it came to me first. And so I don't want to just preach from the rooftops and I have not assimilated or digested it for myself, on top of wanting to know what it is that I'm talking about so that I can articulate it. And sometimes I can be a bit of perfectionist, so I'm trying to find out the fine line between perfection and execution, because I want everything to be done in excellence, but I also don't want to be slowful and get into analysis paralysis and procrastination. So I'm trying to find and strike that balance. I just wanted to jump on real quick to give that update and to just leave a thought with you. And I just want to say, just trust the process. And I'm saying it from personal experience, years of personal experience. A lot of times we feel like we want to go from A to Z, but in doing that, we cheat ourselves of everything that the process develops in us. Just like when we were kids, and we wanted so much to be grown. And I remember the adults specifically always saying, don't be in a rush, stay in a child's place, don't be in a rush to grow up. And we thought that they were just saying that. We didn't really listen to them, not knowing what all it entailed, but there was a lot of wisdom in that warning. And now, being an adult, looking in hindsight, hindsight is 2020. And so we were so in a rush to get to this point, only to see that it's not all that it was cracked up to be. Excuse me, and that we were not missing out on nothing, and that we should have enjoyed and been fully in the present moment where we were, at that age and that life and experience. Because being an adult is not fun compared to where we were at that stage in life where we felt like we desired it. And so I can truly say that. And then now I try to pass that on to my kids, nieces, nephews, and anybody else that'll listen. Don't be so in a rush to grow up, to be so called quote unquote grown, because you rob yourself of the process and everything that you will need when you get to that point. For me, take me for instance, I found out about cryptocurrency maybe in 2017 with the big Santa rally in December, just like everybody else, and that spurred hunger and a thirst in me for the markets. And so after that, I looked into forex, maybe in like March of 2018. So it's been about 3 years exactly that I've been in the markets. And I said all that to say that I got so enamored with the screenshots and the social media traders and the amount of money that can be made in such a short amount of time that it made me rush the process to think that I wanted to get straight to the money. And I robbed myself of a lot of the experience by trying to rush the process, and so as opposed to taking my time and learning the right things at my pace and letting the money come. It stunted my growth, and it's not to blame anybody because the responsibility is mine. But what I'm saying is that the time that it took for me to start over a million times, I could have done it right the first time, or the first two or three times, and by this time I could have been way further along than I am now, as opposed to have to keep starting and stopping, starting and stopping, starting and stopping, starting and stopping a million times. You could have already been at your destination. It's like the race between the tortoise and the hare. The hare or the rabbit started out fastest, but I forgot the story. But I know that the tortoise wind up winning the race, and he was the slower animal, but he was consistent. He kept on at a consistent pace. So it's not always about your speed, but it's more so about your endurance and that you finish what you started. And it's also not about comparison, because comparison and analysis paralysis and looking at somebody else's process takes your eyes off of you, and it's really all about you. It's not nobody else. It's not about anybody else but you, because if you look and you're always comparing yourself, there will always be somebody that's further along than you, has more of what it is that you desire, and there'll always be those that you perceive to be behind you. And so that's not a reliable comparison at all, because we all have our own individual races. And it's quoted from the Bible in Ecclesiastes where it says that the race is not given to the swift, or the battle is given to the strong. And it ends there. I've always heard it quoted, but um, it's given to he who endures to the end. But the Bible doesn't say that, so I don't know who inserted it, but it definitely applies. It's more so about endurance, and it's about a consistent pace. I've learned that in my life, because life and success is a cumulative process. So that means that every day, every moment builds on the other. And so when you're setting out to be consistent in whatever it is that you're setting out in, every day means a lot. And so if you miss a day, you miss a lot. And so that's not to get into condemnation, but it is to encourage you to pick back up where you left off at and to stay consistent, because you think that the little efforts don't mean much, but they all add up together, and then they compound, and the return that you get is exponential. Just like the parable or the story of the $1 million up front, or a penny compounded against itself for 30 days. Initially, if you're just thinking naturally, you're going to take the lump sum of money as opposed to the penny that compounds or doubles every day for 30 days. But if you do the math, come to find out, I think a penny compounded against itself every day for 30 days comes out to be like 4 million, because you're taking the penny that you started out with, which doubles on day 2, and then on day 3 it doubles from the amount from the previous day, and so forth to 30 days, and it compounds against itself, and somehow, some way, um, it comes out to $4 million, which is a larger amount than the lump sum that was offered. So all of that means is that every day adds up. Every moment, every step that you take forward, no matter how fast or how slow you think it is, it's all about consistency, day in and day out, not giving up, not quitting, not being discouraged, pressing through whatever you feel, how you feel, whatever's going on around you, but continuing to be consistent, because truly success is given to those who don't give up. Simply, a lot of times we think it's to those who are more gifted. They have something that we don't have, but a lot of times it's just that they got up one more time than the person who didn't succeed did. And so if you don't take anything away from this, which I'm implementing myself, is just that to be consistent is to start today, because there's never a perfect time, no matter how imperfect the action. Don't worry about speed, but worry about quality, and worry about consistency. That means showing up every day, doing the best that you can do with what you have, being resourceful, being comfortable with becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable, and doing the work day in and day out. And 99% of that is showing up. I didn't want to make this too long, just that brief thought. Appreciate you guys for sticking through to the end. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, comment, do all those great things. Expect great content coming consistently. Everything I preached in this. Growing Pain series is still a thing, is going on, and I still will be releasing other snippets as well that may or may not have something to directly do with growing pains, but it all ties in somehow. So just stick with me, rock with me. Again, it's your boy FFCLAY from Transcend Global, where humanity ends is where divinity begins. And until next time, peace.